Alright, hello boys and girls, moms and dads, welcome to HeroesMart Academy. This is 5th grade social studies, week number 19. So we are going to be switching over to the geography section of our curriculum right now. We're going to be talking specifically today about using geographic tools. Alright, so we're going to be talking about how to use tools like the grid system. Okay, the grid system, we're going to be talking about that, how to use legends and symbols and scales and compass roses and maps. Alright, so let's start with the grid system. So the grid system is a network of intersecting horizontal and vertical lines which we can use to identify places on a map. So if you have a map like in a rectangular shape like this, so typically if you have lines, vertical lines like this, and then horizontal lines like this, those lines are going to give you an opportunity to have coordinates, and you can use those coordinates to identify places on the map. So what's an example of a map? Well, an example of a map that we can use the grid system on is the globe itself. That's the Earth. So you are going to see right here on the screen, this is a picture, a map of the globe, the world. Alright, and it's divided into a couple of vertical lines, which you can see it's curving along the globe right now, and horizontal lines. Now the horizontal lines are called latitudes, and they are just imaginary lines. It doesn't mean that you see lines running across your street, but just think about it like that. There are horizontal lines that we can use to identify places on the Earth. So horizontal lines, which are imaginary, are called latitudes. And then there are vertical lines that are imaginary as well. They call those longitudes. Latitudes run from 0 degrees to 90 degrees, either north of the equator or south of the equator. And then the equator is going to be that 0 degrees horizontal line like this. And then other horizontal lines can be to the north of it or to the south of it. That's what it's saying over there. The equator is the central line that divides the globe horizontally into 2 equal parts. And 1 degree of movement away from the equator is going to be approximately equivalent to 111 kilometers or 69 miles. Okay, so if I say I am moving 1 degree north of the equator, well, what he means is I've traveled 111 kilometers or 69 miles. If I say I'm moving 2 degrees north of the equator, well, that means I've traveled 2 multiplied by 111, which is going to be 222 kilometers degrees north. All right, now what about the longitudes? Now these are going to be vertical lines that run west or east of the central vertical line, which is the GMT. The GMT is going to be 0 degrees, which is the Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so the longitude that passes through the Greenwich in England is what we call the GMT, 0 degrees, and it divides the world globally, the globe vertically into 2 halves. So if you have a vertical division of the world like this, it's going to pass through a place in England called Greenwich, and it divides the world into 2 halves vertically, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Alright, the longitudes run from 0 degrees to 180 degrees west of the Greenwich or east of the Greenwich. And just like the latitude as well, 1 degree west is going to be equivalent to 111 kilometers or 69 miles. So now it gives us the opportunity to understand coordinates better. So coordinates are going to be a way to identify each location on the Earth or on the globe. And each location on the globe is identified by its coordinate. And a coordinate includes a latitude and a longitude reading of a point. So for example, Dallas, Texas has a coordinate of latitude 32.7767 degrees and longitude negative 96.797 degrees. And there are many free online tools that you can use to calculate the coordinate of your location on the globe. For example, this one, latlong.net. If you were to click on it and type your city over there, it's going to give you your coordinate. So for example, if you were to locate Dallas over here, it's going to be on a latitude 32 degrees. So 32 degrees north is going to be a little bit further away from here. It's going to be somewhere here, and that's correct. So 32 degrees, and then negative 96 degrees. So negative 96 degrees is going to be a little bit from here to the left over here, and then you are going to locate Dallas right here. Can you see how beautiful that is? You can see the map of the United States in here, and via these coordinates you can literally locate Dallas, Texas. All right, so let's talk about another tool right now in geography. We talk about maps, which maps is going to be a representation of an area on the earth on a flat surface. It can be a little section of the globe or the globe itself, which is like a map that we talked about before. All right, another thing that is worth noting is the scale. So the scale is the ratio that is used to interpret data on a map. So when you have maps on a sheet of paper, you are going to have a scale to let you know that maybe 1 inch on this sheet of paper is going to be equivalent to 500 kilometers on land or 500 miles on land. Well, they call those kind of things scales to let you know what is the equivalent distance that I'm measuring right now on this paper map compared to real life situations. That's what a scale is. Then they talk about legends and symbols. Well, on a table on a map, in a map, so there's going to be a table. The table is going to contain symbols, listing some symbols and listing or some other information required to interpret data on the map. So that's what we call legends and symbols. All right, so please go ahead and do this for me. So in your own words, what is a coordinate, or what are coordinates? Make sure you read this bullet points over there to be able to write that down for me. What is latitude? All right, latitude, write it down for me like this over there, like that. Well, I want to thank you, boys and girls, for joining me today. Remember, God cares about you, and so do we. Bye-bye.
I'll be your hero's buddy, and as you study with HeroesMart